Post-qualifying press conference, joined now by Will Power, driving the number 12 Verizon Team Penske Chevrolet, who will be starting second in tomorrow's Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Will, oh so close to your 8 of the last 9 poles here at St. Petersburg, but still starting up front on the front row for tomorrow's race. Will that help you in terms of leading throughout the race and not having to make your way up through the field, but also just from what you're expecting of the race? Is that upfront starting position going to be key?
Yeah, there's no question. You know, starting up the front's definitely better as far as getting through the first corner and that sort of thing. Obviously, pole's the best position you could be in. Yeah, I mean, it will be interesting. We don't know how these cars race. I know they follow well, but I don't think they draft that well. But yeah, very close. Had a big miss-shift during my lap where I just got stuck in gear for quite a while. And then when I saw how tight it was, I was like, yeah, it was probably lost a tenth or so there. But yeah, fantastic job by Wickens, first time out to get pole.
We've been through several practice sessions, but this is the first qualifying session where we've had the 2018 car. I know we keep talking about it, but I think everyone's just so fascinated with how it's going to be working in qualifying sessions and different types of tracks. Your impressions of its first qualifying session?
Yeah, it was, the balance kind of surprised me a little bit in the, you know, for the first qualifying session. Obviously the conditions were very tough there, but the car itself is a lot of fun to drive. It's, yeah, you really got to drive it and hang it out there to be quick. So definitely, you know, definitely more spectacular for the fans, and it'll be very interesting to see how it is during the race.
Takuma Sato joining us, starting 5th in tomorrow's race, driving the number 30 MyJack Panasonic Honda for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. Takuma, we spoke to you just a little bit earlier, but take us through your qualifying session, and did things go according to plan? Obviously a great starting position for you tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it was a spectacular qualifying in terms of the fans, and ourselves too, that it was really tricky condition. I think drivers are tricky enough to drive in these cars, but having had a drizzling, and especially for the towards the end of the qualifier, whereas it was challenging, but I think my thought was the team did a tremendous job and the preparation for the team at this race. We had a quite lost practice session and never got through clearly, how can I say, as planned it. But I think the qualifier we showed a good speed, and then in the end I think we get on to the Firestone top 6 with a little bonus, so I'm very pleased.
Ryan Hunter-Reay starting 6th in tomorrow's race, driving the number 28 DHL Honda for Andretti Autosport. Ryan, you mentioned earlier that you were unsure if you were going to be able to find the gaps in qualifying to make sure that you're able to get the best run possible. Do you feel like you were able to get that, and did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, that fortunately wasn't not our issue today. It seems like a controversial topic, though. There was a lot of penalties being thrown around from what I could tell. But we just got a little bit too aggressive with the car today. There at the end, I think it was just down to the drivers figuring it out, and you know, I was quick around the rest of the track, but I just didn't get it together in turn 1 and 2. That's down to me. They kept, every time I passed start finish, they kept telling P1, 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 and then it fell from there the last 2 laps. So, but good job to these guys, and obviously to Wickens. He certainly sorted out turn 1 and 2 out there. It was like running on ice somehow. You know, those runway strips were sitting so low in the car. You can't really place your car and try and get around them because they're so wide. You have to get over them, and you can't see them until you're on them. So it was definitely tricky out there. I'm surprised we didn't end up with any cars on the wall. So fun session though. That'll definitely keep you on your toes.
We'll open up for questions. We do have a wireless mic in the audience. If you could please wait for the transcript. Bruce?
Did you pretty much feel you had the pole, and was it a big shock once Wickens' number came up? Because before that, he'd run like a 1.6.
No, I was so slow at the beginning. You know, I was wondering if I'd just be 6, but as a track driver I got better, and I thought it was pretty good on the last lap. Apart from I had a very stayed in the limit a long time because I had a really big miss shift, which cost me quite a bit, but the rest of the lap was really good. And yeah, it was, I mean, the track was basically dry everywhere except for turn 1 at the end, so I kind of expected a lot of people to be up there. Yeah, it's very, very tight field, so I was actually happy to be on the front row.
Other questions? Jenna?
I was wondering from all three of you what we should make of 3 rookies making the Fast Six in their IndyCar debuts.
Yeah, just shows the kind of the parity, I guess, within the series now that everyone's got the same body kit. You know, you don't really see anyone struggling. They're all good guys. They're all guys capable of winning races. So yeah, pretty impressive though. All those guys, they're up the front there. You know, first time out. I think there's 3, right? 3 of them in Fast Six is very impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's, these guys have been quick in testing though, so it's not totally shocking. And, they did a good job overall. It's funny because there's so much talent in the series. You just miss, you know, you have a slight misstep, and everybody's there to take you up on it. So a good job to those guys for sure. Trying conditions and new cars on a new track. It's impressive, no doubt.
Yeah, basically I agree with those two. I mean, nothing else but just show his talent and obviously preparation, equalized conditions and tricky conditions, shall we say. I think it was the matter for these 3 rookies. It's really, really well done.
I'll introduce our newest driver, Jordan King, in just a moment. I want to go ahead and keep asking questions for the 3 drivers that were here. Brant.
Taking the last question to the next step, I mean, do you expect the usual suspects, the veteran guys who've done a lot of laps here, will you percolate to the front as you get into the race on Sunday, or those young guys, are they going to be able to stay up there barring anything strange?
In this field, I wouldn't be surprised if anybody runs up front, really. I mean, any of these guys can, and that's the beautiful thing about the Verizon IndyCar Series, actually anyone can win the race. And, I have no expectations on that side of it. I don't expect to go to the front because I'm a veteran, but it's going to be a very difficult race. It's going to be a very different race than what we're used to. I think we're going to be slipping, sliding around, constantly changing circumstances, and traffic's going to be very difficult. So, even out braking a guy is going to be a lot different than years past. So it's going to be a different type of race.
Mary?
For the 3 veterans, I'm hearing that the cars slide around a lot, and I would think that would create a certain amount of tire wear. Do you think the tires are going to last through a full fuel stint?
Yeah, that's a good question. It feels like the rears will go off actually quite a bit. But yeah, I think we'll know more in warm-up tomorrow, although it'll be very cool, which really looks after the tyres. But yeah, I think there'll be definitely more drag, just a question of how much, because the cars have less downforce.
We'll go Patrick, and then Chris, and then we'll let our first 3 drivers go.
Ryan, Will, Takuma, since you're the veterans, you've been here before, let's pretend it's going to be dry tomorrow. Give me a number for cautions.
Yeah, it's so funny. You go into strategy meetings, talking about how many yellows are going to be. You look at historical figures, and you look at it, and there's no cautions the previous 2 years, and then there'll end up being 15. So I couldn't predict it at all. Anytime we've tried to do that, we've come up short. So I couldn't even start to tell you. I mean, we could all surprise you tomorrow and run clean. So.
Yeah, I think it's to do with. I think the last couple of years of racing, you couldn't even get close, so there wasn't any kind of late moves. But I have a feeling with this car that tyres will go off more, and some cars will move forward and some will move back. So maybe there will be more yellows. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, same.
Chris?
Hey, for the 3 veterans, do you think that one of the reasons why some of the rookies might be having some better luck is that they don't have to unlearn what they had with the old Aero kit, where they had so much downforce, and then when you take all of that off, you have to, get used to having less downforce on the car?
I think it's an easier easier to get in the window of this car, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, none of the setups really cross over, maybe a little bit, but yeah, it just seems easier. It's harder to drive, but it's easier to drive because it's a little bit more nimble and you can get away with the slide, without losing a bunch of time. So yeah, it's just the fact that everyone's got the same stuff makes it very competitive.
Yeah, I think that all the veterans have to dial it back a little bit, from what they've been used to getting away with in brake zones on these tracks. You can go to Sebring and test all you want. Things can be somewhat similar there, but once you get to a temporary street circuit like this, and for the past 3 years, knowing what we've been able to get away with in the brake zones, the rolling minimum speeds and stuff like that, it's definitely a different track and a different approach.
Okay, if you are not a Verizon IndyCar Series rookie, you may go. Thank you very much. We'll welcome in our 2 new additions to today's post-qualifying press conference, joined by Jordan King, driving the number 20 Ed Carpenter Racing Fuzzy Vodka Chevrolet for the team. I want to note Jordan did set a new track record for the streets of St. Petersburg. That time is 1 minute, 0.0476 seconds. Jordan and I know that. Yeah, you guys can scoot closer together. Let's get friendly.
We still like each other, honestly.
Absolutely. Jordan starting 4th in tomorrow's Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Setting a track record, starting 4th in the race, did you expect to adjust so quickly to the series in the car?
If you asked me that question 2 months ago, probably not. More because I didn't know anything about the car other than speaking to engineers and other, like Alex Rossi, Conor Daly, people I know. So, yeah, 2 months ago, no, I had no expectations, but then slowly after driving the car, start to realise that actually it's not too dissimilar to what I've driven before, and I feel comfortable in the car. It's not like I've suddenly, I need to learn everything again. Yes, there's a few driving techniques that are different, but we've got a driver coach that's helped with that, and the engineers have really helped with all the small details of learning. But also the other thing that's helped is they've trusted me as well. They've let me kind of be myself and go forward with it.
Also joined by Matthias Laced, I believe. We've also been instructed to call you Matt, so we'll switch back and forth, I'm sure. Starting 3rd in tomorrow's Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, driving the number 4 ABC Supply AJ Foyt Racing Chevrolet. Matthias, I was listening to your post-qualifying interview, and I think you used the words, it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
Not a lot of drivers qualify 3rd and say it's a dream come true, but I know that this just has to be really exciting for you to get into the Verizon IndyCar Series and have such a great result for your first qualifying session.
Yeah, definitely. So I was racing in England 2 years ago, and then last year came to race in Indy Lights, and I had quite a great season. The car is completely different than everything that I had driven before, and then this year made a step to the IndyCar. So yeah, I think I was expecting to be like top 10, but definitely not top 5, top 6, and the team just did an amazing job, and very happy for the performance throughout the whole weekend already. And looking forward to the race. It's going to be my first race in the IndyCar, first time doing pit stops, first time saving fuel and all this stuff. So a lot of things to learn yet, but hopefully we're going to have a great time tomorrow.
Absolutely. We'll open up for questions. Any questions at all? Yes, Jenna.
It's awkward waiting for the microphone. Hey, I'm Jenna Fryer with the Associated Press. I guess I'm supposed to call you Matt.
Yeah.
You're the youngest driver in the series. You just mentioned all the firsts you're going to go through tomorrow. So you said, how do you go out there today? What's in your mindset? You've never done this before, and I guess for both of you, do you just go and attack it?
Yeah, I think so. I've been doing some preparation with the team, with Tony, so he has been helping me a lot throughout like the past 3-4 months, and I think I'm feeling ready for tomorrow. So I've done a lot of sim stuff as well, so for sure it's gonna be tough. I still need to improve a little bit on the race stream, but yeah, hopefully it's gonna be alright, and I'm excited. It's just I I just can't imagine how it's gonna be tomorrow. You know, it's tough. So I was expecting a top 10 today and then qualified third. So I don't have any thoughts about tomorrow. So we still need to work on it and see how it goes.
Jordan?
Yeah, for me, I'm trying not to have any expectations, and so far that has worked, given I'm sitting here. But it's more I've trusted my ability, so in my view, if I continue just to do that and actually trust what I've been told, trust what I can do, the rest of it will take care of itself.
A follow-up for Jordan. You set the track record today, and you made the Fast Six, and you're trying not to have any expectations. So after a day like today, how do you stop from having any expectations?
That's a tough question. Coming into qualifying, it was one of those that, yes, I knew we were quick enough to get through, but there was still, I had to perform, and it being my first time, obviously I was putting probably more pressure on myself than anybody else. But then I just had to keep reminding myself that if I just do what I know I can, the rest of it will be fine. And that was the case even after the last Fast Six. When I got out of the car and looked at the time screen, I was a bit annoyed that we weren't higher up, because it was so close and I knew there was still lap time there. So yeah, it's more just kind of keep taking a deep breath in and going, right, no, just don't get ahead of yourself, and just keep doing, you know, lap by lap sort of thing.
We'll go Matt and then Patrick.
Jenna asked the old guys this, so I'll ask it to you all. What do you make of the fact that 3 of the top 4 qualifiers are rookies?
Everyone keeps asking the question, as you asked the previous 3, whether being a rookie is actually an advantage. And I think, yes, it is, but it also isn't. You know, you see in numerous walks of life that being experienced counts for a lot more than being inexperienced. But I think the thing you've got to remember about us is, yes, we're rookies, so in IndyCar, so we don't have to relearn things, but we've also been racing for 12 years for myself.
Yeah, 11 years.
Yeah, so we have got a lot of experience in driving cars, new tyres, changing conditions and that sort of thing. So we still have to learn the new car, but there's still a lot of experience in the past. So I think that also negates some of the factors that, you know, you look at a lot of the young drivers coming through, they are actually very experienced and well-rounded. And I know Mateus won the British F3 Championship, and so did I, so it must be maybe a British F3.
Jordan was my coach one time when I was racing the FIA European
now he's beating me.
Good fun. Yeah, but I think coming up from Indy Lights, it's a good step, you know, so I can't say that it's easier than coming down, but, you know, it's a ride for me, and all these guys have a lot of experience, you know, so they kind of know how to adapt themselves very well.
Patrick?
Matt, when we were out at Phoenix for the test,
yep.
You may remember this, you brushed the wall 4 times, I believe it was. They kept going out there, just kept hammering at it.
Yeah.
But when you left the racetrack that night, could you have pictured this happening here?
Yeah, of course. I think what happened in Phoenix is that last year I won 2 ovals out of 3 in Indy Lights, and usually the hindline used to work quite a lot in Indy Lights, but with the IndyCar the tires are completely different, and the high side gets pretty dirty, so all the times that I tried in Phoenix it didn't work, so at least I learned some stuff from there. But yeah, Phoenix was a good test. I think we were like top 10 pretty much every time we hit the track, so I was coming confident for here. Also when we tested in Sonoma and Sebring was great testing, and so yeah, I was confident coming here to St. Pete now.
Sorry, Matt, just let me follow this up a little bit. You replaced the very popular American driver in Connor Daly.
Yep.
Do you feel like that puts any extra pressure on you to perform? You know, and you're also in the American team with AJ.
No, I don't think so. I think now we have a Brazilian team and they gave